Hi everybody, Wendy here. Today is Saturday and I just thought I'd come along and do a little update for you as far as Fibro goes, and also just to go through some things that maybe there are some questions that I've been asked in the past. So yeah, it's just a little chit chat, Saturday chit chat. I don't go out. I've got a little glass of vino there, a bit of rosé, only a small one, so before anybody thinks I'm on the whatever, it's just a little glass. Yeah, so I just thought I'd come along on this Saturday evening and just have a little chit chat with you. Okay, so how's my Fibro going? I'm going through a little bit of a fatigue syndrome flare at the moment, which really affects everything I do on a daily basis, when it's really bad. I can give you a prime example of what happens. I struggle to get to sleep. When I do get to sleep, I struggle to stay asleep. So I have times when I'll have a sleep, wake up for an hour or so, go to sleep, wake up for an hour or so, a bit sort of like that. I never have any problem getting up to get my son to school, but round about, I don't know, 9:30, 10 o'clock comes and I'm done. And I have to have what I call a granny nap, which I do. Not all the time, but when it's really bad I do. So I can wake up. I only go for about an hour and a half. Nothing. I'm not like I'm going to sleep all day or all afternoon. But what I also am finding as well at the moment, and I've got no control over it whatsoever. I'll have had my nap. I'll get up. Try and potter around, and if I sit down and I'm watching a bit of TV or something, without even me realising it, I'm like this, and I'm going to like that, and I like try and wake myself up, and then I'm just like, and I'm falling. That's what it's almost like. I know it's not, but it's like a form of narcolepsy, because I've got no control over it. I'm just so like I've been awake for a week, tired, which is basically what's happening at the moment. Now I don't really go out anywhere, so I don't overly too worry about it, because if I need to go to sleep, I'll go to sleep, and I just find it. There are so many things I want to do, which I end up either putting off or not doing because I'm just too tired. Yeah, so that's what's happening at the moment. I don't really know how to change it or to stop it, or how to stop being tired. And before anybody puts in the comments, oh, exercise, blah blah blah. Okay, I've heard all of those before. And first of all, I've had both my kneecaps removed and I have acute arthritis. Okay, I've got it in my joints, my fingers were. So to go out and do exercise is really hard. Plus I suffer from not being able to go out. I find it hard to go out anyway, especially on short notice. So like if one of my kids, I know I've said this before and I don't really want to go over old stuff, but it's just, I find it really difficult to go out short notice, and even when I get notice, if I can, I'll initially I'll say yeah, okay, because I really want to, but then I start, my first immediate reaction then is to start thinking about, right, how can I get out of this, you know what I mean? And it's so funny, because if something gets cancelled, I just think or if I'm supposed to be going out and if whatever, it gets cancelled, the relief that I feel, because I no longer have to then go out, because there are times when I try not to let it be, or not, bullied is the wrong word, I try not to get talked into doing something I don't want to do. There are times when I get said to me, oh, you know, oh, you need to get out more, blah, blah, blah. Like, they're telling me something I don't know. You know what I mean? You need to get out more, you need to, you know, try not to fall asleep. You know, all the things. I mean, I'm a 54-year-old woman. I've probably, you know, been there, done that, wore the t-shirt, took it back because it was too small, bought another one, which was too big. You know, so, you know, I've worked, you know, before, so yeah, you know, I do know the drill, but it's not as easy as that. So, yeah, I've got to go back again and have another, I seem to be having them every couple of months, thyroid blood test. So I've got to go and do that. Trouble is, it's you know, making the appointment to go and get it done. But there you go. Have you noticed? Look, I tried colouring my hair today purple, and now I've got this like horrible wishy-washy sort of lilac-y colour going on. The rest of it's all right, but I got this funny. Me roots, look, me roots are a bit purple. Lilac. I wanted it to be a bit darker than that, but anyway. Okay. If you'd have seen me earlier today, I look like you know, death warmed up. But sometimes I really have to sort of force myself to go wash my face, and because I've had really bad fatigue this week, I haven't really put much makeup on. But also as well, I'm doing this, using this this gel. It's called tretinoin gel, and it's the same thing as Retin-A, but it's not Retin-A. They call it a ret. And it's only 0.025%, but and I've been really good because you apply it the same way as you would do normal Retin-A. You know, there's different strengths, but so I put it on for the first week every other day in the evenings, and then exfoliated my face in the morning. You have to use a really, really good moisturiser. And then I did that for the second half of the second week, and then I started doing it every day. Now, it does say that you can get breakouts and that, and the only place I really found that I got any breakouts was on the sides of my chin here, on my chin basically, and down the side of my face here. You're not supposed to put it in the creases of your nose because that can get really sore, or on your eyelids because the skin on your eyelids and directly under your eyes are really thin, so you don't want to put it there because it will make them really sore. But when I don't put any makeup on and I'm just using my moisturiser, my skin is so smooth since I've been using this. It's amazing. Now, as soon as I put makeup on, obviously any powder or whatever, I can then see where, obviously, because it also dries your skin out because it's getting rid of like the dead layers of skin or whatever. And I do notice, like especially sort of around here, the dry spots, and yeah. But I'll persevere. Yeah. So I can't even remember where I was going with that. Oh yeah, about how I've not put any makeup on was one of the other reasons, was because I was using this and I wasn't sure whether it was okay to, you know, sort of carry on putting makeup on, but I did today anyway. So, but I did sort of thought, right, okay, going to do my hair. I tried to do a bit of a colour. I have got my East Salon colour. The only thing I've got to be careful is I don't want to end up with like really black there. Although it does cover completely, but it does make, obviously if I don't just do the roots, and it's really hard for me to, because I can't get my arm up to do the back and whatever, so I end up having to normally put it on all over. Okay, so I've had some questions or emails sent to me from some fellow Fibro ladies regarding just some sort of questions. I'm by no means, believe me, an expert on Fibro or medically whatever. So it's not those sorts of. It's more about sort of my own experiences, and because I've been diagnosed for quite a while. This is more, I suppose, for people who are newly diagnosed. And I think one of the things I wanted to talk about was going to the doctor, or finding a doctor that is not sympathetic, is not even the word, that knows a little bit about what fibro is about. Now, if your doctor, or if you've got a doctor that tends to, and they are about, believe fibromyalgia is a non illness or whatever. What you've got to remember is those doctors are there to, although they're medically trained, blah blah blah, they are there to offer a service to you, whether it be in the UK or the US. So I know it's really, really hard at times, but you need to go there when you visit your doctor and be firm. If your doctor is not, doesn't agree with, fibromyalgia, or thinks it's all in your head, or blah, 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 you need to be, unfortunately, strong in how you verbalise to them that, because unfortunately doctors can be a bit egotistical. Some of them, not all of them. You can get some really good doctors, but there are a number of doctors who are a bit egotistical and think that that they walk on water and that what they say is gospel, and it's not always the case. So if I need to go to the doctors, what I tend to do, especially if I've got something I specifically want to talk about, is I'll write it down. And if I write it down, it helps me stay on track about what I want to discuss with the doctor, rather than him sort of saying, oh, and putting you off. So write down questions that you want to ask the doctor. If at the end of the day, you can ask to see a different doctor, but you can also ask to get referred to a rheumatologist, who, especially in the UK, is, I'm not sure about, but I think it's the same in the States, who deal probably more sympathetically to fibro than family practice doctors or family practitioners. So, sorry, I can hear a little patter of tiny feet. I'm just wondering whether they're going to come knocking on my door. No. Yeah, so write it down. Write what you want to speak to the doctor about. Write all your symptoms down. Write how you're feeling. Because sometimes when you go to the doctors, especially when you end up feeling overwhelmed by this person who is in a position of trust, who's in a position of education, you can be then overwhelmed by, if they're whatever jargon they're coming out with, or if they're not sympathetic to you, you know what I mean? But if you try really hard to be strong, it does help. It also helps to, if you've got it written down, to be more expressive in how you're feeling, because there's nothing worse than coming away from your doctor and thinking, I wish I should have said this, I should have said that. Whereas if you write it down, you can refer back to what you've written, and it helps to put across, what it is you want to say to your doctor about how you're feeling, or about, that at the end of the day, your body, which is what I did. I knew something wasn't right. I went from being to teaching to being before that I was a manager. I looked after 30 people. Do you know what I mean? I went to meetings. Do you know what I mean? All that sort of thing, to a point where I couldn't even function to go out the door, and it almost crept up on me. One minute, I was this vibrant sort of person that went out and you know, loved going out, loved going into town, loved buying clothes. I mean, my idea of going clothes shopping is buying a new pair of pyjamas. That's my idea of clothes shopping at the moment. Whereas I can't remember the last time I bought something actually was to wear out Christmas Day. Yeah, and only because I had to. But I could have stayed home. You know, I mean, I had a good time, but you know, unfortunately, I don't know what it is, but being having fibro, because I think there's so much pain involved and so much. Everything has a knock-on effect. Like if I go shopping, by the time I can't walk all the way around a shop, because by the time I get to my car, even if I go with somebody, I can't get in the car because I'm in so much pain through my joints that they just seize up. I'm in so much pain, and all I've done is walked around a shop. You know what I mean? Yeah. So and it was really hard to. Especially to, not all, but to some members of my family, that to use a wheelchair if I went out and had to do a lot of walking, because to them I just looked fine. Why am I using a wheelchair? You know, I'm not paralysed, I'm not, I haven't got any loss of limbs or anything, but the mere fact was that the pain of having to walk around for a long period of time was so excruciating. It was just, I couldn't even describe to you how painful it was. So yeah, so I think it's just a case of, it's the same sort of thing about when I say to people about learning how to say no. And you also need to learn how to be a little bit more forceful in what you want to say to your doctor. Now, I know, believe me, I'm not, I should take my own advice. I mean, there's been plenty of times when I've walked into my doctor's and think, right, okay, I'm going to say this, this and this, and as soon as I've opened my mouth and she said to me, you're right, okay, and I've been a blubbering heap. Do you know what I mean? But that's fine, you can do that. You know, if you need to go in there and you get upset and you cry, that's fine. But, you know what I mean, you still need to then refer to whatever it is you've written down that you wanted to say to your doctor, and that just helps you stay focused. Because if you go in there and you're getting all upset and you're not getting out what you're going to say, I end up getting annoyed with myself or angry with myself, which then makes me even more upset. So it's like a vicious circle. So yeah, so just use notes when you go to see a doctor, and if you're seeing a doctor that you're not happy with, or they think it's all in your head, go and see a different doctor. Try and get a referral to a rheumatologist, because you know, just because they don't think, as in the doctor, it's real or whatever, it's real to you, and it is real, and it is, I believe, degenerative. Yeah, it does get worse with age, because I know mine has over the past years since I was first diagnosed. It's very progressive, I feel, and I think a lot of that is to do with the fact that there are a lot of things that go along with fibro, like IBS and hypermobility. There's numerous different things that 9 times out of 10 will go along with a fibro diagnosis, and sometimes you get them diagnosed first before you'll get an actual fibro diagnosis, because a lot of things is masked by the fibro, is masked by a lot of so yes, so I need to go and make an appointment to see my phlebotomist. That's the lady who takes the blood, to have a thyroid blood test done. And I know my kids, there are times when they get really worried. One of mine the other day said to me that he was really worried, especially since our dog passed, because they'd never really had anybody that had sort of passed. And I think, with it being I know it was the dog, but it sort of like made it more real that actually things die, you know, so they were a bit, yeah, he was sort of like, yeah, he was a bit worried, one of my boys, but I just said to him, look, you know, I'm not planning on going anywhere soon, touch wood. But anyway, so what else can I talk about? I was going to do some crafting today, but I didn't get around to it. I still might actually, because what time is it? It's only 8:30. I've recorded the voice, I might watch that. I'm in my bedroom filming at the moment, so you can see my messy bedroom behind me. Well, it's not messy, it's just a lot. Oh, look, look. I used to do that a lot when I was a kid. In fact, my son, you've got pictures of him going, film videos of him going. Actually, I can't do it because I got a sore nose. Does anybody else have who's fibro? I don't know. I end up with a very tender sore nose, not up here, but just on the inside of my nose. Really, really sore. Right, every time I catch it. Yeah. So there we go. I did put some lippy on today and some makeup. I put, what did I use? I used the Makeup Revolution 144 2016 palette to do my eyes, and I did sort of like, I was trying to go for sort of like a blue and purpley sort of look, but when I added the purple to the blue, it made the blue sort of go grey. And then on my lips I've got this Makeup Revolution sort of purple. This is a lip lacquer, I think it is. Ultra Velvet Lip Cream, and actually it's lovely, it's really smooth. Really smooth. I'm not very good at overlining my lips. I say I'm not very good, I can't do it full stop. You know, to get that bigger pouty lip look. If I overline mine, I look like Ina Sharples off of Coronation Street or something like that. Yeah, it just doesn't work for me. I've got an ulcer as well on my mouth. I've got a sore nose and an ulcer. Amongst others. Buy a new fridge. Say I want to go and buy. My going and buying is going online and ordering it and getting it delivered. I want to do a card tutorial on a crisscrossed card. I also want to try, there's these new things that people are all, there was pocket letters and now it's flip cards, which is a bit like two flaps and then the middle bit, and then you're supposed to put a tag and then a letter, and but yeah, I watched a couple of videos on them, although I did like pocket letters and I did buy some of the stuff to make the pocket letters, and I've never actually made one. So today I've just come here for a bit of a waffle vlog. I don't know, do any of you guys that have fibro, and I'm not just talking about the ladies who are going through the change, I permanently, day and night, have to have a fan on. I've gone through two, well this is my second fan, I think this one's on its way out, because I have to have them on all the time. Yeah, not good. Those, if anybody has any questions, as far as sort of like doing more and more updates to do with fibro, if I get any questions that I get asked, then I'm more than happy to, you know, answer them. So if anybody wants to message me or email me, that's fine. And if I, you know, I'll do a video if I need to. So other than that, I will, every now and again I will carry on doing, I won't do them like too regularly because it's just, you know, I don't want to bore you guys. And I know you either want to see a makeup video or a, more importantly, a craft video. So yeah, I just thought I'd come along and have a little chit chat, because I was going to make something and I couldn't think what to make craft wise, so I thought, well, I'll tell you what, Saturday, I got a little, well, quarter of a glass of wine, which I haven't touched. I'll come along and have a little chit chat with you guys. So what I should have done was write down some things I could talk about. What can I tell you about me? Somebody did I think it was a collaboration, and it was 3 things you never knew about me. So I tell you what, that's what I'll do now. I'll tell you 3 things that nobody knew, you guys don't know about me. Oh, I've got to try and think of them first. Okay, the first one is quite a big one. The first one is when I was younger and more fitter, I used to be a policewoman. Would you believe? My mum used to be a policewoman, and so did my dad. My dad was in the RAF, and when he left the RAF, he joined the police force, and I joined the police force, and my mum used to be in the RAF, and when she left, she joined the police force. So yes, so that was something you didn't know about me. Yeah, I used to be in the police force. Number 2, what can I say? Number 2 that you never knew about me. I suppose on leaving the police force, I used to be a store detective. I'm in a local, well-known chemists. Yeah, that was quite interesting. What else? What's the third thing I can say that you guys didn't know about me? The third thing that you guys don't know about me is I have been published twice. One in a very well-known card magazine called Making Cards. I had a 2-page full spread, and the other one was called Creative Cards, I think it was. I can't remember what it's called, but anyway, I have got the magazines, and I will show you them. If I'd have known I was going to do this, I would have got them to show you. But yes, I could even take a picture and show you. Yeah, so that was thanks to a online shop that I used to make cards for called Cuddly Budley, and yeah, I did a yeah, I was published in a craft magazine. So yes, if I hadn't have got fibromyalgia, I probably would have liked to have, or would have liked to have been a presenter on a craft channel. How cool would that have been? To get paid for doing something you love. Yeah, so anyway, that was a little bit of useless information for you. I can't think of anything else that I can tell you about me that you guys don't know about. I could tell you a funny story. Yeah, okay, so when I was younger, I must have been 18, because I'd gone out to a pub in our local village with my brother and one of his mates. And, oh God, I can't believe I'm telling you this, it's so embarrassing. We all got a bit tiddly. Now, bearing in mind where we lived in the village, it was literally just walking distance from the pub to home. Now, if I used to have a drink, and especially if I drank wine and I went to the toilet, once I went to the toilet, that was it. Every blooming half an hour I was having to go to the toilet. So this one time, I'd sort of all night I've been on and off going to the wee all night, and we'd left the pub, and I'm sort of like walking home, and halfway home I thought, oh God, I am busting to get to the toilet. I mean, really busting. And we were all messing around and laughing and joking and whatever, which didn't help the fact that I needed to get to the toilet, because we were all belly laughing. It was just really funny. So we were walking home. I was dying to go to the toilet, and then I was so pissed. Oh, so drunk. Tiddled, whatever you want to call it. Because in America, pissed means angry. But in the UK, pissed means drunk, tiddly, smashed. I end up weeing myself. Now, bearing in mind that I was with my brother and his friend, who I thought was rather nice, and I thought, we were literally not far from, well, around the corner from my house, and I thought, right, okay, I've done this, I can go home, get undressed, you know, have a quick shower, blah blah. But no, what made it worse was because I tittled to myself, it had gone all into my shoes. So all you could hear was me then walking, when I was walking, was squelch, squelch, squelch of my shoes, my feet in my shoes, which was now full of piddle because I peed myself. Oh, that's my iPad. It's a game on my iPad. Yeah, because I piddled myself on the way home. How embarrassing. If any of you guys did anything like embarrassing like that. I will add, I don't get tiddled like that anymore. I don't like getting tiddled. Not to that extent anyway. Oh God, have you guys ever done anything that's like really embarrassing when you've had a few too many that probably you shouldn't have done? Yes, I probably have. I know I've embarrassed my kids probably. More than I should have done. Yes, funny. But anyway, so that's my funny story for the night, just to interest you guys. If I've offended anybody, I do apologise. And I don't mind if you move along. But yeah. And if you thought it was funny, great, I've entertained you on Saturday evening. Because I didn't know what else to do. To do the craft video. Oh God, look at the state of my hair. I need one side's really short, one side's really long. I'm going to call this video my waffle video, because pretty much that's all I've done is waffle. But yeah, so it'll be a little Fibro update and the rest of it's all waffle. Okay, so I'm going to go now because I'm waffling even more. I might sort out my a